Well, welcome back outside to my garden railway. It has been raining for what feels like a month at this point after such a dry summer. So I'm finally able to get out and start to try and put the rest of the track together in place as well. Since last time, like I said, the rain has been coming down ridiculously, so our pond has filled up quite a lot since then. I'll have to take the pump out soon, I think, because as the temperature drops, I really don't want that new pump getting frozen up and broken. A lot of the plants are now starting to establish themselves more as well. And also in the beds over here, I've actually got some potatoes growing. So they're going to be handily in my way as I try and get these various bits of track in place. But I've got a good new supply of grey plates. I've got a load of track ready to go as well. So I'm going to get that underway, but before I can do anything else, our grass has gone absolutely insane with how much it's grown, and there's some hidden dog poos in here as well, I'm sure. So I'm gonna have to get my lawnmower out first, knock that down, and then I can get started on taking care of some of this track. Right, now that I can actually get across my grass, I can get on with starting to make this track fit round properly. So here's a quick recap on how far I got last time. The first reverse volute point is coming around, and all of this is silted, and I've got smaller tracks made up by gluing a plate across two cut pieces of track, so that's all at the right size. So to start off today, I'm going to fill this back section with some what they call bark chippings, just to get the level up. And we're going to fit a piece of track across here, and if it needs a shorter piece of track, then I'll cut that piece of track and I'll glue a plate on top to create the length of track that I need. So that's what I'm going to start off with. After that's done, I can then set this gap. We'll have to have a special piece made up as well, so I can set that in place so that this track ends up central. And then I can take this track all the way around like I've done with the previous one, get that set up, and again I'll put some bark chippings down the back here to bring the level up, and then I can make a shorter piece of track if needed, all with trying to make sure that I don't crush any of my potatoes which are growing as well. So let's get on with that. So put the straight there, got a little bit of bark chippings to keep it level, and now we can start to see where I've got this odd gap that's not the size of a regular straight. Let's pop that on there we go. So you can see this is going to need a little bit of modification. So we're going to need to take a 4 section out of this. What I'll do is I'll cut along here and along here, bring these two together, and then that will make the piece to go in there. So let's cut that down, glue a plate on, and we can slip that one in. Okay, I'll try and get this bit on camera as best as I can, but I might need to move it out of the way when I actually do the cutting. I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I need to take out, as I said before, a 4 long section. So I want to take off from one stud on the sleeper to one stud on the sleeper. I want to lose this gap so that I have like a 1 strip next to a 1 strip, so that they can connect together with this plate, which will get glued on top. And to aid me with that, I'm going to use some sacrificial pieces of Lego to help line my blade up when I cut. These ones have been used a few times, so they are starting to get a little bit chipped from where I've caught them with my blade. And I have just a regular Stanley style blade, and I'll swap that around to the sharpest side, and I'll start off by scoring this down the middle. There we go, just following the edge of that brick, and then on the outsides as well. Scoring it is going to make that when I push down pressure later on, it should break along this score line, and I shouldn't get any weird sort of shapes. Any size which is a bit too big for that plate to go on though, I'll just trim the plastic back a little bit. The plate itself will be what does the heavy lifting of holding everything back together, so I'm not hugely concerned, but I want to make it as accurate as possible. And then if I come along here, I've just got my blade settled onto the top of the railhead, and I'm going to push down and rock back and forward just to help cut through that as well. Once this has gone through, it will be much easier to get that last part through. Let's go from the other side as well. Let's find the edge, start pushing back and forth, and now this is going to take two hands to get through. Obviously, don't do this unless you are confident with blades and safe to do so. There we go, and this one as well. I'm just not going to try and do it all in one hit. I'm going to do it a bit at a time. Oh, there we go. That one's plunged through now, and you can see where it started to break away, and it's now snapping along that line that I scored earlier, and that's now cut. And there's a little bit here that needs to be trimmed off, and I'm just going to do that with my knife. Again, I'm using these as a guide for me. Not putting any pressure on here, I'm just letting the blade work its way along and rocking back and forth. Blades cut by moving along something, they don't force their way through. And I think maybe just might need to take a little bit more off of this bit of track, but that's about it really. So there we go. Alright, I'm going to do the next bit without the camera in front of me so it's easier, and we'll be back again for the gluing part next. Right, that's the difficult bit done. So now I can just remove my guide pieces, and with any luck I've cut this so that this plate will go on perfectly. Look at that, first time. So that will now give me the size that I need to put in that gap. We're going to do a quick test. Let's just see. Yeah, that's roughly right. There'll be a little bit of push on that, and it'll just help align everything, so that's all good. I'm only working in hole studs, and I'm not going to try and go without one of these being in place. So now we can get some glue, which I picked up from the shop the other day, and we just drop this on top of the studs. Oh my gosh, this is very watery compared to the last glue that I was using. You can get those spray activators as well, but I don't have any of that, so we're just going to literally put that on, and there we go. That is now going to dry over time and never come out again. It's now a bonded piece of track, and that can go in. Try and move this camera to this section. So I could put this in here and be done with it, but because we're going over this lump, I think it would be better to have one of my longer Trix bricks straights in here. So I'm actually going to move this one so it's further this way, and then that way I'm hoping to reduce the risk of any derailments. Move it out of the way. There we go. So then put these two together, and that makes the piece that we're going to need for over here. There we go, just like that. I might need to put a bit more chippings under there, I think. Easily done. Just to help support that transition. There we go. At some point I'll probably put some dividers along here and run gravel like I have at the back of the main flower bed area. But that one's done. So I'm going to continue on now. The next part is going to be taking care of where the 2 points come together. So that's what I'm going to tackle next. But I'll tackle that off camera, and I'll join you again once I've actually got some more track together. And hopefully by the end of this I can run a train around the whole thing. And just like that, everything is in, connected, and looped up. So I'd best go and find a train. Okay, this is it, the first time running. Let's hope that this is going to work. I've got a passenger locomotive set up. It's got a bit of mess there, get rid of that. Try and stop any derailments. So I've got a passenger locomotive ready to go. This is the first time doing it. Let's see. We failed already. I've left some carriages behind. Right, take 2, let's go. See how we get on. well, I'm really pleased with how this has now turned out. I've got one locomotive which is in this loop here, which has been redirecting this one so it can't come in, so I can use this as a staging area. The cargo train's going round, just chugging the power through. Really super happy. So I think that in the future for this garden railway, because there are some bits I still want to do, it'd be nice to make this bridge look more bridge-like rather than just a plank of wood screwed across the two sides here. And perhaps even maybe see if I can get some other kind of routing options in place for the trains as well. Like perhaps I could swap these to having a Y-type configuration going on, so that I can go either way. Might be something that's possible, who knows. But I think that's going to do it for today. I'm really pleased that I've got the trains so that they can actually be ran around. It means that I can actually use this area again now for running trains and also for doing photographs and stuff. So until next time, see you later. Bye. Well, it almost worked.